Hey, welcome and welcome back to Rebellious Joy, where we are fighting back and choosing joy anyway. This is episode 1, where I'm going to be talking about my 45-day transformation from depression to joy and how you can get there too. If that sounds like something that you're into, hit that subscribe, follow button, like, share, comment, all the things so we can spread joy to everybody else. So, some backstory. Almost 6 months ago, on May 21st, I lost my husband. 16 years ago, I lost my son's father. It took me 2 years to come out of that first depression, to get up and decide to do something. I didn't want the same story this time. It did hit differently because this go around, he's my husband. I did fall into depression, but decided much earlier on that I did not want to stay there. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I couldn't genuinely feel any happiness. I had lost all my hope, my dreams. If you know me personally, I am a big dreamer, big on hope, big on dreams, big on self empowerment. I'm always saying, yes, you can, yes, you are, yes, you will, and believe that for myself too. But in this phase of my life, didn't feel that. I felt like everything was bad. And that if it were to get good again, it would just get bad again. So, no point in feeling any kind of hope or happiness because it would just all get bad again. Which, on one hand, is true, right? Because change is inevitable. If you feel great joy, you will feel great sadness. So, I felt like, why even hope for the joy when it would get bad again? But you could look at it at the flip side. Why lay down in your sadness when you know you're going to feel joy again? And so I decided I had to change something because initially, after my husband passed, I so badly did not want to be depressed that I pretended as if I could move on day after day as if things were normal. I went to work. I did all the things that I was supposed to do on paper. Take a shower, go to work, eat food. After a while, initially I wasn't sleeping at all. I was getting about 2 hours of sleep a night. But I soon realized that going on about my life as if things were normal was not working for me. So one day, October 2nd, I had enough. I sent an email to HR and I said, I am pursuing FMLA. I will send the necessary paperwork. I texted my bosses on October 3rd and let them know as well. And for the following 4 days, I just laid in bed. Wasn't happy. I felt like I had a breather. I cried a lot. I laid in bed a lot. And one day I wrote in my notebook, Rebellious Joy Journey. I just started listing things that I wanted to do that I never had the opportunity to do before because I've lived in Georgia for 15 years, but I've been raising a child on my own. I work a job where I get one day off at a time. I work every single Saturday, and I didn't want to take my days off to go out and have a joyous day with friends or by myself because that was my time to spend with my son. So I'd never really had a chance to explore and experience certain things that others have because I was busy working and raising a child. So I wrote down my list. And I did check off all the things on that list. I went aqua cycling. The first day I got my hair done. I went out to eat. I went on a food tour on the Atlanta Beltline where I got on a scooter and went to multiple restaurants and ate their appetizers. I went out with a friend. I went to Tennessee for 4 days. I went to a murder mystery dinner. And the finale was a gospel festival with my son. And I call it the finale of that 45-day journey, but I do plan on going to live a joyous life. I needed this joy journey. I had to do it. I had to. And now that the 45 days have come to a close, I see the difference of myself, day one to now. I needed it so that I could get back to myself and become a greater version of that person. I felt silly along the way. I am out by myself. When I went to that murder mystery dinner, I was the only one that was there solo. Everybody was there with a group, or there were couples or friends or whatever. I was the only one that was by myself. And it felt odd, but I made friends for the night. We talked, we laughed. The host, they even invited me to be a part of the show. That was so much fun. They said, act like you're the one that got Killed, come out with the knife in you and screaming and running and all that. And I did. I hammed it up. But I hammed it up and it was amazing. And that was the first night of my joy journey that I smiled a genuine smile. I knew going into this joy journey that I did not know what I liked, what I enjoyed, what brought me happiness. There were baseline things that I liked that brought me joy, like reading, writing, reading the Bible, going for walks. But I could not bring myself to do any of those things. All of it sounded dreadful. I just lost the desire to do anything that previously brought me joy, which is common if you face depression. You lose the desires for things that used to make you happy. I didn't want to do those things, and I didn't. And I said, let me discover what else I like. Knowing that I had those core things that I could get back to and have started getting back to now. But I wanted to explore not just the world, but myself. I wanted to remind my body what it felt like to feel happy, because it had earned a master's degree in how to be sad, how to be upset, how to be angry, how to be depressed. I had learned all the negative feelings, and my body was a pro at it. So I said, let me go outside and reteach my body what joy feels like, reteach my face how to smile. And during all my outings, because I would write it down, I would look things up. Where do I want to go? What do I want to do? During my outings, I reserved the right to change my mind. Sometimes I'd be out and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to do that. Or I'd be driving somewhere and I said, ooh, that looks like fun. Let me go do that. I went to Noah's Ark. It is an animal sanctuary. So they have lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. I'm driving home one day. I said, I want to go there. I have time. So I went. I reserved the right to change my mind. If I didn't want to do something anymore, I didn't. And of course, I went to lots of therapy. Lots of therapy. I didn't want to go to therapy. I'm not new to therapy. But I felt in this time that me going to therapy was just an exercise in lying to myself. I was going to go to therapy and gain this hope that everything's going to be better. And I felt like that was a lie at the time. I even told my therapist, don't want to be here. Don't feel like sitting here with you so that you could convince me to lie to myself. And I can convince myself to lie to myself. But I went through the motions. I went anyway. It was helpful. It is helpful. I'm still seeing her. Hadn't seen her in a while. This is a therapist I've seen before. Hadn't seen her in a while, but it is helpful. So in the mix of going to therapy and going to these outings, I really started to feel better. I had moments where I didn't feel so good. I went and took myself shopping one day, and I ran into my husband's brother, and that just, it made me feel very heavy. It's not that I was trying to ignore my grief, because I did allow myself space to feel through all these outings. And there were times where it just jumped up on me. running into his brother, talking to him for a while. He was polite. He was wonderful. He's always been very kind. But it just made me feel very heavy at the time, where I had to sit in my car and cry for a little while. There was another time I was out with my sister listening to this song by Forrest Frank, and I literally had to stop the car in the middle of the street. There was no one behind me, no one in front of me, but literally had to stop the car in the middle of the street to cry. It came out of nowhere. And it's like that sometimes. And we can have that expectation, like I said, because change is inevitable. And it is guaranteed that emotions are temporary. You will feel joy. You will feel sadness. And you do have to embrace it for what it is at the time. And I cried in the middle of the street. Then I put the car in drive and continued about the day. We went to a buffet that day. And me and my sis, we love a good buffet. So that brought me some more happiness, laughed with her, all sorts of things. But I had more joy than sadness, which 16 years ago, almost 6 months in, I could not have said the same thing. And it had to be intentional. It had to be intentional to seek joy, not to just go about it day by day as if it's normal, but to remind your body what it is like to feel joy. For me, I couldn't talk to God initially. I was mad. Couldn't talk to him initially. And now I can. And I'm going to do another episode regarding my anger with God, because that is so multi-layered. But 45 intentional days of seeking joy, reflecting on the hardships, feeling the hardships, feeling the joy, and going outside to do things. Don't wait. Don't wait until your friends can join you, because I couldn't wait for my friends to join me. I was off of work. They weren't. They still went to work every day. Now, I have a couple of friends that took time off. Like my friend that I went to Tennessee with. She took time off of work. And I'm sure that trip was good for me, but I'm sure it was good for her too. But my friends had to go to work, so I could not wait for them. I had to go and experience joy by myself. Because you know who experienced sadness? By herself? Me. And I have a great support group that would help me through it, but it is my journey. I have to get through it with God. I have to get through it. I learned other things along the way. I learned that I like me, and I am a good time to me. I was just keying and ha-haing, just laughing so many different days, making friends, talking to people. I had a great time by myself, which is something I wouldn't have known if I didn't go on this journey. I didn't know that I could just go out into the world by myself without any worries and just have a good time. So initially, I did have worries. I was anxious, which some people might find odd because I'm in sales and I can turn it on and I can be a social butterfly. But sometimes I feel really anxious being around people, especially by myself. But I figured out that I can do it. And that's the point, right? You have to try things to know if you're good at it, if you enjoy it, if you like it, if you want to do it again. And there are some things on my joy journey I want to do lots more times. And there are some things I'll never do again. There's one thing I recorded and deleted. I'm like, I'm not doing that. And I'm not promoting it either. It wasn't like dreadful or anything. It just isn't true to who I am. So I'm just not going to post it. I learned so much about myself, so much about God, so much about grief, so much about rediscovering yourself. And that's what that journey will do for you. That's what that journey did for me. Not everybody has 45 days they can take off of work and take FMLA. And you may be saying, that's great for you, Keisha, but I still got to go to work every day. Understandable. Moving forward, I told myself, I know I have to go to work, but does that mean I slide back into bad behaviors and bad feelings because I have to go to work, because I don't have time to do the things I did over that 6-week period? No, I am still going to be intentional about finding my joy. I'm still going to let you all know what I'm doing. I work almost 11-hour days. Some days are shorter, some days are longer. I work long days, and I'm going to take you all on the journey that I have not written yet, but moving forward, I will live a rebellious joy life. And I challenge you to do the same, because the only other option is more of the negative you've been feeling. I knew that the only other option was more of the negative I was feeling. I couldn't be that person anymore. I didn't even know who that was. The last time I went to therapy, I cried for the person I was 2 months ago, a month and a half ago. She had no hope. And I don't know that, Keisha. And I hope to never meet her again. But I have hope now. I have dreams now. I have desires now. And I have genuine smiles and laughter now. And the same can be true for all of you. I transformed not only into partially who I was before, but with bigger hopes, dreams, and desires than I had before. Self-belief is back. I learned that saying no equals yes. I said no to some people who wanted to be on the journey with me. It was very much a solo journey. I didn't start hanging out with other people until the 5th week of the joy journey. First 4 weeks, 4.5 weeks, just me. No other joy. I think I took my mom out, but no other joy journeys with anybody else. And I think some people took offense to it. Y'all will be okay. Because let me tell you something. I had to put my mask on first. You can't help anybody until you help yourself. Not your children, not your husband, not your wife, not your friends, not your co-workers. You can help no one until you help yourself. And the thing is, the things we go through are for us to share with others and to help others out of where they are. But you can't do it. I can't do it until we help ourselves. And I'm still on the journey. I feel more free now. I feel more able to be the person I was prior to this big bout of depression. And this person was very helpful. I was a very helpful person, but I just let it all go. But now I'm picking it back up, piece by piece. And what I want for all of you is just to start small. Start small. You don't have to climb a mountain. You don't have to go aqua cycling. You can go for a walk. You can go to dinner. You can go to the movies. Or you could climb a mountain. Or you could go aqua cycling. Or you could go to a murder mystery dinner. What is it that you've looked at like, man, I'd love to do that. Go do it. Go do it. Stop waiting on people. You are your own rescue. You are your own rescue. If you have faith and you believe in Christ, you believe in God, lean on that. You need it. You need it. Lean on it. But remember, faith without works is dead. You can have all the faith in the world that God's going to bring you out, but you have to have the works. Get up and do something. Move your body. Remind it how to smile. You will be better. And that is the advantage. And it's going to sound weird, but that's the advantage I had this go around. When my son's father passed, everything looked bleak. I was in the tunnel and I could not see the light at the end of it. This go around, I knew that there was a light at the end of the tunnel. I couldn't see it. I didn't even know where the tunnel was. But I knew that there was light at the end of the tunnel. And I try to express that to people so many times. It's funny because over the years, when I've talked to moms and dads who've lost a spouse, I let them know that same sentiment, that there is light at the end of the tunnel. There's light at the end of the tunnel. And the things I use for comfort for others, I had to use for myself. I had to remind myself, Keisha, you've been here before. You got out of it. It was a very dark tunnel. But you did get out. There was light at the end of it and you got out of the tunnel, and I had to remind myself of that truth. And now I see the light. Am I out of the tunnel? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe the light is so bright that it seems that way, or maybe I am out. I do feel a lot better. I still miss my husband deeply. Wish he were here. But I know that he's good now. And I am good. And I will get better. And I'm going to do everything I am called to do on this earth before I'm called up. Find your joy. If you heard nothing else I said this entire episode, find your joy. Thank you. Thank you for watching. If you've made it to the end, I hope you come back for episode 2, where we continue on this joy journey and we figure out how to come from sadness, grief, depression to joy, because you deserve it. Stay rebellious.